Now I'll hand you back to Jessica to talk about the online sensory environment.
Hi, so I'm just going to go through a few tips for managing the online sensory environment. As many of us are studying and working online at present, it's important that we also look at our online environment. So first, there's a few tips to reduce anxiety and sensory overload before you go online. So a few things that you can do is you can set up a space where you're comfortable to do your work. Like if you need any seating supports, you can have these ready before the start of your online class. And for example, in my space, I move around from room to room. I can't ever seem to stay in one place. But I often find in all the spaces that I'm in, I find that place where I have natural lighting really helps. I like to take little breaks between working, like just tiny, tiny little breaks, and just look outside the window and just kind of watch the shadows and lights dance outside the window. It's only a tiny break, but even just at that, it kind of feels like a quick recharge and a burst of energy that helps kind of go on to the next thing. Another thing you can do is you can have ready any sensory items you might want to use during your online class. So like deep pressure items or weighted aids or fidget toys, stress balls or sunglasses. I have my study spaces set up so I have my ankle and wrist weights, which are just heavy things on my wrists that really help me with concentration. I don't sit at a desk because I find my movement is too constricted when I'm sitting in a chair, and then I become too aware of sitting in the chair, and then I can't actually focus on the work that I'm doing because I'm so aware of the chair. So I move from different types of seating and make sure that I add in movement breaks throughout the day. But I have my different aids, like I have a weighted lap pad that I use that just kind of helps ground me at the same time. Before online classes, so the good thing about online classes is you can kind of control the audio, so you can test your own microphone and speaker setting and adjust it to a level that you're comfortable with. So you can like turn other people down if they're too loud for you, or turn them up if you can't hear them. So that's handy. If you feel hypersensitive to visual input, you can adjust the brightness of your screen or change to a night filter to reduce visual input, or even use a blue light filter. If you think about it, video interactions, online video interactions are different online as they are in person. Like in person meetings in class, there's only normally one environment that you're all in. So there's only one environment to manage. But on video calls, there's everybody else's environment as well. So it's a lot more. So it requires more sensory processing. But there's a few things you can do kind of to manage your own sensory environment. You can make your own environment more calming by using low reduced lighting to reduce visual stimuli. And you can do it so that you have low like fluorescent lighting but high levels of natural lighting. And you can also create a comfortable place to sit, or maybe you want to stand, and having your own area to do study where there's a limit on background distractions, so it can help you focus and for optimal functioning. So I'm going to talk about some tips on managing Zoom fatigue or any video fatigue. Research has shown that movement really helps us in our thinking and cognitive functioning. So in person, if you think about it, when we're having meetings in person or we're on the phone, we tend to move around a lot when we're interacting. So on the phone, you might walk around, but even like in a in-person meeting, you're moving your body and you're moving your body position. But now that we're all at home and we're all online, we seem to have a lot more restricted movement. So even there's a lot of emphasis going on to looking good on screen, and lots of like techniques that involve holding very unnatural specific positions for long periods of time, which can really interrupt our cognitive functioning. So there's a few things you can do. So if you're feeling maybe crowded online, like your personal space is being invaded, you can increase your personal space and create space by using wireless headphones or wireless keyboard and wireless mouse. So you can be further away from the screen, but you can still interact. And that kind of gives you more personal space. Seeing our own face stare back at us can also be really exhausting and interrupt properly interacting. If you think about it, we'd never meet somebody in real life and carry around a mirror and look at ourselves while we're talking to them and interacting with them. That would just be weird. But this is what we do all the time on online interactions. And this, like, studies have shown that this constant view of yourself can be a source of tension. And when we see ourselves staring back at us, we tend to be more self-critical. So to reduce stress, you can turn off the self view of yourself, so you don't have to look at yourself. And a good thing to do is just kind of have it on, set up how you like it, and then just turn it off, and then you're not looking at yourself for the rest of the video call. We can also find that too much eye contact can be exhausting as well. And so you have a screen. If you're in gallery view, you have a screen full of people, and that much eye contact can be draining. So as you can see in this picture here, you can reduce the size of the overall screen window. So you can, so it's not like that intense eye contact. Another thing you can do is you don't always have to look straight at the screen. So keep looking at the screen. You can look away, and that's fine as well. So yeah, there's some things to do. Getting away from the screen and taking a break is really important. I find that, even though sometimes I forget, but when I remember, I find that taking a study or work break is just as important as actually doing work and getting work done. And like the quality and how good the work is, if taking breaks really, really helps. And drinking plenty of water and staying hydrated is also really important. In the morning, I always make sure I fill my water bottle, even if I'm not thirsty. I fill my water bottle because I know it's much more likely I'll drink it if it's close to me. Rather than having to get up and go and get it, then I'm likely not to do that. I also try to keep it in sight, because often I can't tell when I'm thirsty. I don't know. I'll get really bad headaches and forget to drink water, and I won't realize it is that for ages. So by keeping the water in front of me in my sight, then it kind of just gives me that reminder to drink water, even if I'm not feeling thirsty. And getting exercise is also really important, and getting outside and moving about. I have an outdoor sensory area set up that's got lots of proprioceptive activities like a swing and monkey bars. And I find on days when I don't take a break and I don't go outside to get my proprioceptive input, that I really get a lot less done and feel a lot more sleepy and have a lot less concentration than on the days that I do go outside and use my sensory space. But like, there's other ways I go and get my proprioceptive input as well. Like I might go outside for a barefoot walk, or kick a ball around, or walk up and down my driveway bouncing a basketball. And those little activities really help with concentration as well. And then winding down in the evening is also really important. So taking a break from screens for maybe like an hour before you go to bed, or even leaving your phone downstairs, or not in your room, not bringing it into your room, or not looking at it while you're in bed at night. But I know that all sounds good, but it's kind of impractical as well. So if you can't bring yourself to do that, another thing you can do is you can use a blue light filter. So it means that if you do use the filter, if you do look at your screen in the middle of the night, you don't kind of get that blue light effect that wakes you up and makes you want to look at it more. It just kind of gets rid of the blue light, so you tends to keep you in sleepy mode. So yeah, those are a few tips for managing the online sensory environment. So I'll pass you back to Kieran now.